আমি সবাইকে আমাদের ফ্লেমস অফ হোপ 9th সেশন, আজকে সেশন 9, এই সেশন 9-এ আমি সবাইকে আজকে স্বাগত জানাই। আজকে আমাদের নতুন একটা জিনিস আমরা শুরু করব, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমাদের যেমন গুগল মিটে প্রত্যেক দিন হয়, মানে প্রত্যেক শনিবারে, সেই গুগল মিটের সাথে সাথে অনেকেই আমাকে একটু রিকোয়েস্ট করেছিল, বলেছিল যে স্বামীজি যদি অনলাইন করে দেন এটা খুব ভালো হয়, মানে ইউটিউবে বা ফেসবুকে। তা আজকের থেকে এটা গুগল মিট, অ্যালং উইথ গুগল মিট উই আর গোয়িং লাইভ উইথ on YouTube and Facebook. So I welcome all of you who are on Google Meet, on Facebook or on YouTube. So আজকের যে ক্লাসটা হবে আমি অ্যাজ ইউজুয়াল গত দিনের মতনই আমি ইংলিশে নেব, এবং সেখানে যদি আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা ইংলিশে বা বাংলায় বা হিন্দিতে আপনারা জিজ্ঞাসা করতে পারেন, এবং যেমনভাবে আপনারা হাত রেইজ করে গুগল মিটে জিজ্ঞাসা করেন সেটা আপনারা করতে পারেন, এবং আমি সেইভাবে উত্তর দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। সো সর্বপ্রথমেই বলি যে যদি কারো কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে প্রথমেই আপনারা জিজ্ঞাসা করতে পারেন, এবং আমি সেই প্রশ্ন দিয়ে শুরু করতে পারি। আর তা যদি না হয় তাহলে আমি যেই বইটা নিয়ে আমরা পড়ি, বেদান্ত ভয়েস অফ ফ্রিডম স্বামী বিবেকানন্দর, আমরা সেই বই দিয়ে শুরু করব, এবং তার মধ্যে যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা জিজ্ঞাসা করতে পারেন। সো এনি অফ ইউ who are online, if you have questions you may ask, especially on Google Meet, কারণ আমি ফেসবুক আর ইউটিউবে আমি কোশ্চেনগুলো দেখতে পারবো না, তবে আমার সাথে যে আছে সে যদি, আমি তাকে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, সে যদি পারে সে আমাকে ফেসবুক বা ইউটিউব থেকে প্রশ্নগুলো আমাকে লিখে দিতে পারে, আমি তাহলে দেখে সেইভাবে আমি উত্তর দিতে পারি। So যদি কারো কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে, if any one of you have any questions whatsoever, you may ask me on religion or spirituality, of course, and then we can proceed. Else we may proceed accordingly with Vedanta Voice of Freedom by Swami Vivekananda. So this is the book, as you can see, Vedanta, the Voice of Freedom. So কেউ যদি ফেসবুক বা ইউটিউবেও যদি প্রশ্ন করে তাহলে তারা করতে পারে। আমার সাথে যারা আছে আমি তাদেরকে একটু অনুরোধ করব যে যদি এখানে এসে করা হয় ভালো হয়, কারণ ইউটিউব আর ফেসবুক দুটো একসাথেই আছে। সো যে কোনো একটাতে প্রশ্ন আসতে পারে। ইয়েস, সো আমি শুরু করছি। আমি এখনো কারো প্রশ্ন পাইনি, তাই আমি শুরু করব স্বামীজির Vedanta Voice of Freedom দিয়ে, and we will begin with the topic today on doing good to the world. So normally, whenever we speak of religion or spirituality, people always ask, what good is your religion doing to the world? That is our first question, or that which normally comes up, which creeps in our mind, that what is your religion doing, or what is your organization doing? What good are you doing to the world? So that is the first and foremost question. And also there is another thing which I feel very often, and I have come across many such incidents, that whenever we travel in I will request to close the window, okay, kindly. So whenever we travel in any public transport, so we come across people who normally ask us, Swamiji, what welfare activities are you doing? So it is the same question asked in a different way, that what good is your religion doing to the world? So what welfare activities is your society doing, or is your religion doing? So these are the common things that we normally come across when someone is in the field of spirituality. So here also Swami Vivekananda asks that we are asked, what good is your religion to the society? Society is made a test of truth. That means if my religion is doing something good to the society, then the religion is okay. Else, if my religion is not doing any good to the society, then my religion is not up to the mark, or my religion is not okay. So this is made a yardstick. The society is being made a yardstick to measure the goodness of my religion. But this is not always true. This is not always correct. Whatever the society says, that is the only reality, or that is the ultimate, is not true. Because we will see that whenever we take up history, when we look back in the history of spiritual world, in particular, then we will see that all great spiritual stalwarts and God incarnates, they have faced enormous oppositions or hindrances, or sufferings from the society, this society itself. So if they were to comply by what the society said, then they would not have brought in new ideas. And we always know that whenever there is a new idea which is contradictory to the conventional ideas and the conventional practices that we do, then they are met with heavy opposition. So to say that our society is the yardstick of the goodness of my religion or my organization is actually not true. And as I said, if we take up history, we will see innumerable cases. Anyone trying to, bring in new ideas, new thoughts to this world, they are always met with tremendous opposition. They had to fight with the society. And not just with religion, not just with spirituality, with anything good, they had to face this problem. So if we think that the society is a measure, it's the yardstick of the goodness of my religion or my action, my work, my organization, is not true. Because it is the same society which opposes any new thought which in the long run or in the future went on to change the course of the society. So we are asked, what good is your religion to the society? Society is made a test of truth. Now this is very illogical. So Swami Vivekananda says that this is very illogical. To make the society a test of truth is very illogical. Society is only a stage of growth through which we are passing. Society is not the ultimate. It is a state of growth through which we are passing. It is not the ultimate manifestation. It is a stage in the path of manifestation. So it cannot always accept that new thoughts or those new ideas because it is still not developed. It is developing. Like Swati Talukdar, yes, I am coming to you, just a minute. When I asked Bhagwan several times that, or I said to Bhagwan, rather asking, I said to him that, Bhagwan, the ideas that you say or the things that you say, the society is still not in a position to grasp these grand ideas. Our society is still full of selfishness, is full of greed, anger, jealousy, and Bhagwan spoke things which are just opposite to it. To love, to forget things, some things which have harmed me done by others, to love selflessly. But the world it is still not now, ready to accept all this. There are very few who can accept these things. So the world is, as Swamiji says, it is a state of growth. It is growing still. And with these new ideas, with these new thoughts, it is evolving. gradually. It is not fully evolved. So when someone comes with the full, fully manifested thoughts from total selflessness, the world is not ready to accept. We have seen the life of Bhagavan. He was, he had to face a lot of opposition. This very society gave him so much pain. We have seen the life of Sri Ramakrishna. We have seen Sri Krishna. We have seen Ram. We have seen all great people. We have seen the life of Swami Vivekananda today, whose book we read with so much reverence and whom we regard as a very big, I would request Krishna, yes, please kindly, Krishna, তুমি যদি তোমার microphone mute করো তাহলে ভালো হয়. I would request everyone to mute their microphone. Yes, thank you. So, today we speak of Swami Vivekananda so highly, but in this very city, Kolkata, people went to beat them up. Swami Vivekananda and his, brother disciples. And they were almost, literally, they were thrown away. And Swamiji had to go all over India. But he wanted to do something here from the very beginning, but people did not allow them because they were bringing in new thoughts which were imbibed in them by Sri Ramakrishna. And so they had to face many hurdles. We have seen ourselves, the life of Bhagavan, who had to face so many oppositions. He had to bear and endure so many sufferings and so many pains. So to say that what good the religion is doing to the society is never a test of the goodness of my religion or my organization. And Swami Vivekananda says that this test is very illogical. It can never be. Yes, Swati, আমি সাথীর দেখেছি, সাথীর কোনো প্রশ্ন আছে? সাথীর যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে সে করতে পারে। Yes, Swati, if you have any questions, you may ask. I think we have lost her. Anyway, we will go on with how to be calm. Okay. Swati Talukdar is from Bongaigaon and she says how to be calm. Now see, the whole of religion or the whole of spirituality is to make our restless mind to come to a state of rest, peace, calmness. For this, you have to hear about the real nature of yourself. You have to hear these words. You have to hear the real nature, about the real nature of yourself. Why? Because in our real nature, we are ever peaceful, we are blissful, we are calm and quiet. That is our real nature. And this nature of ours that we see, always restless, running from here to there, and, not getting any time to sit down quietly and to look into ourselves, that is not our real nature. So this nature is being imposed by myself. I create my restlessness. I create my chaos. So what is the way out? How to come out of this restlessness? You have to hear about the real nature of yourself. That is the true spirituality, that is true religion. And that is what is known as Vedanta, which speaks of the real nature of ourselves. So when I go on to hear about the real nature of ourselves again and again, that I am ever blissful, I am ever peaceful, I am eternal, free, deathless, ceaseless, immortal, Atman or Brahman, then gradually this nature begins to manifest in me. And the more this nature of my real self manifests, I will become more and more calm. And I again say That is the real meaning of spirituality, to bring our ever restless mind to a state of rest. That is the real meaning of spirituality, or that is the end or the aim of spirituality. And along with this, along with hearing Vedanta daily, at a regularly, daily means, I mean to say regularly, you have to hear Vedanta regularly, not just one day. Once in a while you hear it. Okay, it will help you, but not in that way that you can make yourself calm and quiet. In order to really become quiet and calm and to bring yourself to a stage of rest, you have to hear it regularly and then practice it with a bit of meditation, with a bit of chanting, with a bit of, doing good work, selfless work, যেটাকে নিঃস্বার্থ কর্ম বলে, নিষ্কাম কর্ম। তাই ধ্যান ধারণা, একটু বেদান্ত শ্রবণ, একটু নিষ্কাম কর্ম, সেবামূলক কাজ, এগুলো করে মন ধীরে 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 এইভাবে শান্ত হয়। This is how this restless mind of ours is brought to a state of rest. Thank you for your question, Swati. Now, Swamiji says that society is only a stage of growth through which we are passing. We might just as well judge the good or the utility of a scientific discovery by its use to the baby. You see how beautifully Swami Vivekananda, describes it. Okay, it's Maitri Talukdar, so little Maitri, who is just 12 years of age. You are asking this question. That's very beautiful. Thank you, Maitri. And that at this very tender age of 12, you have understood that your mind is not quiet and calm, and that it is restless, and that you are trying to make it calm. It's a wonderful thing. সত্যি ভালো লাগলো মৈত্রী, যে এই বয়সে তুমি বুঝতে পেরেছো যে মন শান্ত না, এবং এই মনকে আমার শান্ত করা উচিত, এবং তুমি জিজ্ঞাসা করছো যে কিভাবে আমার মন শান্ত হতে পারে। এটা সত্যি প্রশংসনীয়। থ্যাংক ইউ। So here Swami Vivekananda says that we might just as well judge the good or the utility of a scientific discovery by its use to the baby. What does Swamiji say? He gives a very beautiful analogy that suppose there is a scientist and he is busy in his lab making scientific discovery, and there comes a child and asks, "What are you doing, uncle?" So the scientists say, "I'm reading the stars, I'm studying the stars, the planetary motions, and trying to find out or discover new planets and new galaxies and all these things." And then the child says that, "Will it help me to give me a chocolate?" What will the scientist answer? His scientific discovery has nothing to do with a chocolate. But if the child measures the goodness of the scientific discovery with his getting of a chocolate, it's totally ridiculous. Similarly, this society is like a child. It has not evolved in that way, because still we see, when we open the paper, newspaper, or we watch the TV news and all these things, we will see that what the society is. How much have we evolved as human beings? Mentally, not to say of spirituality, just mentally, how much have we evolved? How much have we progressed? Sometimes it seems that we are not progressing, we are going back. We are going back to animality rather than going forward to humanity. If we read the newspapers, if we look at the news, more often than not, we feel that we are going back to animality rather than developing. So if this very society asks the goodness of religion, like the child, that, "Oh uncle, is your discovery going to help me to get a new chocolate?" There will be no answer for the scientist to say to that little child. So our society is not very much more developed than that child, and we ask those childish questions. It is simply monstrous. You see what the Swami Vivekananda say? Swami Vivekananda says that it is simply monstrous. And of course, if we look at our society, it is more a monster than human being. It is simply monstrous. If the social state was permanent, it would be the same as if the baby remained a baby. If the social state were permanent, what we see in the society, if it remains as it is, then it would be like the child remaining a child and never developing. But that if the child does not develop, that means it is sick. It's very nice to hear a child blabbering, when it cannot speak nicely, and it will, stammeringly it will say, or just in a very beautiful way, it will say A for apple, B for ball, and we all enjoy that. But if the same child, after 5 years, speaks in the same way, then the parents will be very, anxious. Why? Because their child is sick. It has not developed. Similarly, if the society were to remain where it is today, then the society is sick. And of course, we see this sickness everywhere, all around. I think I have got a question from okay, there is a question. How to be focused when the path of Vedanta, its learning is opposed by people, society, and always judged? Okay, so this is a question from the very topic that which we are, discussing, that how to be focused when the path to Vedanta, its learning is opposed by people, society, and always judged. It's a question by Tirthankar. Okay, now see, for this we have to have one thing very clear, that my aim must be very clear to me. What I wish, what I want. If I divert from my aim because what the society says, what my friend says, or what my relatives say, or what he or she will say, then that means that I am not very focused on my aim, or I am not very true to my aim. But if I really want this, for example, if I really want to know the truth, then I will adhere to my practices, and I will adhere to my, belief and everything, no matter what one says. And this is a very important thing, because you see, we are always afraid of the society. What will my friend say? Or what will my relative say? Or what will he say? Or what will she say? And it is the society which, gives me the idea, or, unknowingly gives me what I will become. But of course, nowadays, children are, especially the youths are very straightforward in expressing themselves. That is a very good thing, because they don't care in a way, if I can use this word, they don't care that what one is going to think, or what one is going to say. For example, I have seen Bhagwan myself. I give this, example very often when asked, because I've seen it myself with Bhagwan, that he was true to his aim. After coming in the spiritual world, he just had two things in mind. The first thing, that Swami Vivekananda, he got his life, reading the poem of Swami Vivekananda to an early violet. And then he said to himself that when I have got back my life after reading after reading a poem of Swami Vivekananda, then I owe my life to Swami Vivekananda. So I will do what he said. And Swami Vivekananda, he took up the books of Swami Vivekananda, and he liked the words of Swamiji, the clarion call of Swami Vivekananda that preached the Vedanta of the Uts to each and every door. So he took up this message, he took up this clarion call, and he devoted his life fully till the last day for this very cause. And next was the words of his guru, Swami Pavitranandaji. Swami Pavitranandaji said that your life is for others. When one realizes the truth, when one attains self-realization, then he has nothing more to achieve. Then what will he do? In his life, the only thing that is left for him to do is well-being of others. Atmana mokshartam jagat hitaya. So jagat hitaya, for the welfare of the world. So these two, sentences that preach the message of Vedanta of the Uts to each and every door, and his Guru Maharaj's words that your life is for others. He dedicated his entire life just for these two causes. But it was not so easy, because as I said, when there are new thoughts which are in contradiction to what the society thinks, what the society sees, what the society practices, when there are new thoughts and new ideas which come in contrast to this, it is met with furious opposition. And he had to face innumerable hindrances, innumerable problems, innumerable sufferings and pains. But he was true to his aim, that I will do it no matter what. His friends left him. Many people, they left him. People started speaking ill of him. They did whatever they could. The society did whatever it could, but it could not deter the, aim. It could not, divert Bhagwan's aim. Not a bit. He was so true to his aim. So that is the first thing, that you must believe in yourself that yes, what I am doing is good and is according to the words of the noble souls. Because if I think, okay, I am doing something bad, and if I think, no, this is good, that is again, that will be a blunder. So we have to think in the way our noble souls, our self-realized souls have taught us. They are the authority. So Bhagwan took up this work, and he was true to himself. He had this firm belief in himself. So that is the first and foremost thing, that you have to have the belief in yourself, the firm conviction in yourself that yes, I will do this no matter what. Maybe the whole society goes against me, but I will stick to it. So that is the first and foremost thing, that I must have the belief in myself. This self-belief, that is the most important thing to be focused in order to proceed in Vedanta, even when people and the whole of the society goes against you. Thank you, Tirthankar. So Swamiji says that to judge the goodness of the discovery of a scientist by the utility according to the perspective of a child is simply monstrous. If the social state were permanent, it would be the same as if the baby remained a baby. So actually, if we see that, did we develop much as a society? I think we need not answer this. If we open the newspaper every day, or if we see the news on television channels or on other internet and any other things, I think the answer is very much clear to us. There can be no perfect man baby. What does Swamiji say? There can be no perfect man baby. Why man baby? Because these two words are self-contradictory. Man is a man, baby is a baby. So there can never be a perfect man baby. Because man represents the mental faculty or the thought process that an adult, have. And a baby represents the thought process that a child has. So they can never be the same. So it's like, in Bengali it is called Shonar Pathorer Bati. So you can never have a bowl made of, a golden bowl made of stone. Because a stone is a stone and gold is gold. So as we cannot have Shonar Pathorer Bati, a golden bowl made of stone, similarly, you can never have a perfect man baby, because these two terms are in itself contradictory, self-contradictory. There can be no perfect man baby. The words are a contradiction in terms. So there can be no perfect society. So there can be no perfect society. A society which is perfect, there can be no perfect society, because society means a gradual development. So when there is still development, it is not perfect. So there can be no perfect society. Man must and will grow out of such early stages. Man will and must grow out of such early stages. We have to come out of such silly questions. Still when we, as I said, when we go out in buses or in trains, people at times ask us, Swami, can you read our palms? I at times laughingly said no, but if you can please read mine one. So we are still asking these questions. What welfare activities are you doing? There are so many societies doing welfare activities. A spiritual organization is one which will give food or thought for the soul, for the mind. Like just the little, child, a girl of 12 years of age asking how to keep my mind at peace. I want to make my mind quiet and calm. That is the food for the soul. That is the food for the mind. That is what is the work of a spiritual organization, to give these high and noble thoughts. But we cannot come out of our such, conventional ideas. What does your society do? Do you do charitable works? You don't need a spiritual organization to do charitable works. There are many good NGOs doing that. As a body needs good nutritious food to develop, similarly does the society need good and noble thoughts to develop. And that is the work of a spiritual organization. That is what I have seen my Bhagavan doing for the last 40 years. I have seen him for 34 years, but he did that for the last 40 years till he left his body. Till the last minute he was doing the same thing, feeding us with good and noble thoughts. That is what we need. That is what humanity needs right now. That is what the society needs right now. We have plenty. Now, normally, if we see, our standard of living has gone up. I'm speaking of the average man. But our mental attitude, our mental, thought process, it has come down to a great extent. And that is where we need to work, to provide food to the soul, to provide food to the mind, nutritious and healthy food. And that is what Swamiji, stressed on. Here also he is saying the same. And Swamiji said that I want to be a voice without any form. Let my voice work. Let my words work in you. There can be no perfect man, maybe the words are a contradiction in terms. So there can be no perfect society. Man must and will grow out of such early stages. Society is good at a certain stage, but it cannot be our ideal. It is good for a certain stage, but it cannot be the ultimate. It is not the ideal. Because the society is basically very selfish. We have created this society according to our needs. We do things according to our own selfish need. As human beings, we are really very selfish. The most selfish, entity living on this planet. We milk the cow. Just a simple example. We milk the cow. And what do? We bring its calf near it, allows it to drink the milk for a bit, and then take it away and keep it in front of the cow so that we can take the milk. This is what we are. And even I have seen myself that when the calf dies, at times, the calf dies just after the birth or while giving birth, then what does the, person do who has the cow? He makes a calf out of straw and, other things. He prepares a calf and puts it near the cow so that the mother cow thinks that it is her baby and it gets ready to give milk. This is what we are. So this is the society. And if this society is going to make my religion, if this society is going to, test my religion, to measure me, sorry, because we are still selfish. We have to evolve out, we have to come out of these thoughts. And let not the society shape my religion, shape my future, shape my thought process. No. If I am to shape my thought process, I will shape my thought process according to some noble soul, like Swami Vivekananda, or Adi Shankaracharya, or Gautam Buddha. I have seen Bhagavan, from whom we were inspired, whose noble thoughts, whose beautiful thoughts, selfless thoughts have inspired us and inspired many thousands. But still we are trying. We are trying to work according to what he said or what he wished. So if someone has to shape my future, if someone has to shape my thought process, then it must be the noble souls, not the society. So there can be no perfect society. Man must and will grow out of such early stages. Society is good at a certain stage, but it cannot be our ideal. It is a constant flux. It is changing. It is a constant flux. And that is why Swami Vivekananda says, choose your ideal and live your life up to that. Choose the highest ideal. Choose the highest ideal and live your life up to that. So we have to choose the highest ideal, not what the society says. Society today will say me very good if I do something according to what it says, and the next day if I don't do it, it will say me anything what it wants. So let not the society guide me. Let not the society shape my thought process. Then I will be a mere, combination of flesh and blood with selfish thoughts, full of selfish thoughts. Let the noble souls like Swami Vivekananda, like Adi Shankaracharya, like Sri Ramakrishna, like Sri Bhagavan shape our thoughts, our future. The present mercantile civilization must die. You see, that is what Swamiji says. The mercantile civilization must die. With all its pretensions and humbug, all a kind of Lord Mayor show. So this world is like this. You see, Swami Vivekananda is telling it like almost 125 years back, or more than that. So it was the same during that time, and it is the same. I think it's more horrible now, with people ready to cut one's throat at the slightest selfish, thing. If my selfish desires are, if it gets hurt, I'm ready to cut one's throat. And if this very society tells me what to do, what my religion will do, how I will think, then I'm sorry. What the world wants is thought power through individuals. See, this is what we want, thought power. We must give them these powerful thoughts so that it can think in a better way. Actions will come later. Let it think in a better way. Let it think selflessly. Let it think in a noble way. And out of these thoughts will come grand actions. So what the world is now, powerful thoughts. Powerful means not to, show my strength. Thoughts which are noble, which are beautiful, which are selfless. Where one thinks of others, and that is why, Bhagavan gave these very beautiful 12 divine, commands where he said that think of others, love all. You have to think of others. You have to be true to yourself. You have to love others. These powerful thoughts the society is in dire necessity of such powerful and wonderful and noble thoughts. What the world wants is thought power through individuals, because thought always expresses itself through some individual soul. As I said, I have seen Bhagavan. I have never seen him speaking ill of others. If someone has did a bit of good and lot of bad to him, he would always think about him or speak about him what the good he did. Just unlike us, we do just the opposite. I have never seen him speak ill of others. I have never seen him think ill of others. I have always seen him selfless. And at times I told him even, that Bhagavan, you came like 500 years, early, because the world is not ready to receive such magnanimous thoughts, such grand thoughts, but they come to develop this thought process, to develop the society, so that they can come out of this shell of selfishness, of jealousy, of hatred, and they can develop so that the society, so that mankind can develop and it can proceed towards the real development, towards truth, towards love, towards unity, towards oneness. But for that, they had to, themselves endure innumerable sufferings. And that is what this society gives them in return of those beautiful thoughts that they imbibe and that they present to the society, that they give to the society. So this must not be our character. This must not be the character of our society. And we say that our civilization is so developed. It's nonsense. If we have developed, we would not have, given pain to them, such noble souls. No. This is no development. My master used to say, why don't you help your own lotus flower to bloom? The bees will then come of themselves. Swami Vivekananda here is speaking of Sri Ramakrishna. That my master, that is Sri Ramakrishna, used to say what? Why don't you help your own lotus flower to bloom? You have the lotus in yourself, the goodness, the divinity. Lotus is the representation of the goodness, of the divinity. So why don't you manifest your own divinity rather than going to manifest others, helping others? First, manifest your own divinity. Manifest the goodness within you. And when you once do it, then bees will come by themselves. You don't have to invite them. They will come automatically. So my master used to say, why don't you help your own lotus flower to bloom? The bees will then come of themselves. The world needs people who are mad with the love of God, you see. And one who is mad with the love of God, what does the society do to them? They just inflict them with innumerable sufferings. That is what our society has to give to them. So we must be sorry for this society. And then again, when we say that what good does this religion, your religion, do to the society? Swamiji says it's monstrous. Let us not ask these questions. Let us remember that we have inflicted innumerable pains. If not we, then our forefathers have inflicted innumerable pains on these noble souls. And then if we question them that what good your religion or your society or your organization is doing to the society, then I think it's really monstrous of us. So let us not ask these silly questions. So what does Swamiji says? That what does the world want? The world wants such people who are mad in the love of God, who are God-intoxicated persons, because they give unto mankind these thoughts which are noble, which are selfless, which are advanced, and which are really, civilized. This is what real civilization is. And I have been, fortunate enough, I have been blessed. I am blessed by seeing such a person in my life, in the form of Bhagavan, who was God intoxicated. And not only he was God intoxicated, he made people, the layman, become, or fall love with God. He did not preach it. He inspired it. He injected this love of God into others. I myself, I was not like this. It was coming to him that I got transformed. I never thought of this. I never dreamt of this transformation. But it was coming in touch with this God-intoxicated person, Bhagavan, the founder, core, and the lifeline of the International Vedanta Society, that just not my lives, many other lives got changed, got transformed. and we began to fall in love with God. And Swamiji says, the world needs people who are mad with the love of God. You must believe in yourself. That is what the answer was to Tirthankar's question, that how to proceed when the world is going against you. The first and the foremost thing is to believe in yourself. That yes, I have taken up an ideal, I have taken up my highest ideal, and I will live up to it no matter what comes. I will live my life according to it. I will let his thoughts shape my future and not what the society says. So you have to believe in yourself. You must believe in yourself, and then you will believe in God. That is a very basic teaching of Vedanta. I have heard it time and again from Bhagavad. First believe in yourself, and then you can believe in God. First love yourself, then you can love others. First respect yourself, then you can give respect to others. That is the first and foremost of the basic teachings of Vedanta. So you have to have the firm belief in yourself, and only then you can believe in God. And just not in God, you can believe in everyone. The history of the world is that of 6 men of faith, 6 men of deep, pure character. What does Swamiji says? That the world, the history of the world, is the history of the few men who had deep faith in themselves, who had deep belief in themselves, who were a pure character. So this is what we want. We want persons who are mad in the love of God and never ask this silly question that what good is your religion going to do to the world? In Thousand Island Park, when Swamiji went with a handful of devotees, so he had a very deep samadhi there once again. He had the first, as we know, in Kashipur, Uddanbati, when Sri Ramakrishna was during his last stage of life. And then he had this one in Thousand Island Park. And there he said a very, in one of the classes, he said very beautifully that drink the cup of the divine love to the full. Drink the cup of the wine of divine love of God to the full, and become God intoxicated, and do not ask the foolish question, what will happen to this world? Never ask it. These questions are silly. So I think at least we who are here today, next time when we meet someone, some monk or maybe anyone who are in this path, before asking this question that what good is your society or your religion doing to the, what good is your religion doing to the society, before that we will think of this, what Swamiji says, that it's a monstrous one. Let us not ask these questions. Rather, let that person express his own thoughts, and let us be benefited from his thoughts, rather than asking, what is your religion doing for this world? So, with this, I come to the end of today's session, the 9th session of Flames of Hope. I hope you liked it, but rather than liking it, I would request to implement on this. I'm not telling that I have fully implemented. I'm also trying. As Bhagavan used to say, that his master Swami Pavitrananda ji used to say that we are on the path of truth. Amra sotto pather pothik. So we are all in the path of truth. Let this truth in us reveal itself, manifest itself through our work, through our actions, through our thoughts. And let not this selfish world shape our future, guide us what we will think, what we will say, what we will feel. Take up the highest ideal and live your life up to that, as Swamiji said. Take up anyone whom you like and live your life accordingly. Let us do something good. Something good means in thought. Let us provide this society, this sick society. Let us feed it with nutritious thoughts. Thoughts which are strong, thoughts which are selfless, thoughts which are noble. So, if any one of you have any questions, you can ask. Else, I will finish today's session, the 9th session of Flames of Hope. Yes, I would invite you to ask questions if any one of you have any questions. কারো যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে সে বাংলাতেও করতে পারে, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা করতে পারেন, নাহলে আমাদের সময় প্রায় হয়ে এসছে। আমরা আমাদের ফ্লেমস অফ হোপের যে 9th সেশন সেটা আমরা শেষ করব। ঠিক আছে, আমি এখনো কিছু পাইনি, কোনো প্রশ্ন পাইনি, তাই আজকের সেশন 9th সেশন আমি এখানেই শেষ করব। আমি যারা আমাদের প্রথমবার ইউটিউব এবং ফেসবুকে দেখছেন এই সেশনটা, আপনারা যদি আমাদের জানান, কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে আমাদেরকে আপনারা জানাতে পারেন। আমরা আমাদের নেক্সট সেশনে, আমাদের এটা প্রতি শনিবারে হয় 8টা থেকে, যদি কোনো চেঞ্জ হয় আমরা জানিয়ে দেবো। তা যদি আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা করতে পারেন, তাহলে আমরা আমাদের আগামী সেশন সেই প্রশ্ন দিয়েই শুরু করব। থ্যাংক ইউ মৈত্রী, থ্যাংক ইউ। It was nice seeing your question. Maitri is telling thank you. On the contrary, I must thank you for you being such a little girl asking me this question. It was really nice, very nice of you. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Take care. এই গরমের মধ্যে সবাই সাবধানে থাকবেন, ভালো থাকবেন, এবং চলুন আমরা সবাই মিলে একটু সবল চিন্তা করি, একটু সুন্দর চিন্তা করি, আরো উন্নত মানের আমরা চিন্তা এই জগৎকে যেন দিতে পারি। নমস্কার, জয় ভারত।